Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Alex and today we are comparing the Nike Invincible with the Saucony Endorphin Shift. Two very popular choices for daily trainers for 2020-2021 and they're very close in many aspects. We'll try to see which one I prefer and which one I recommend for you depending on your needs and on your expectations. Before diving in, I would like to thank everyone who recently subscribed to the channel. It really means a lot. And this is only my 8th video, so you know, this is very recent for me, but I'm really grateful every time I see a new subscriber, a like, a comment, comments which I try to reply to as much as I can. And yeah, thanks a lot, that's really nice, and I hope you will appreciate this video too. If you want to quickly see which shoe is better for each compartment, jump right now to the end of the video, and let's bear with me and we'll discuss more in details each segment. Let's start with the weight. So it's exactly the same weight. The Endorphin Shift comes at 1 gram lighter than the Invincible, 320, 319 in my size, US 11, EU 45. So no winner for the weight. Outsole, very different type of outsoles, lots of rubber with those little lugs on it, quite thick. And here on the outsole you have almost no rubber, or here you have, like, you know, an extra layer in the forefoot. You have that decoupled groove here and extra reinforced rubber around the forefoot. Quite different. I think you have way more traction and way more durability with this one, but the Saucony Endorphin Shift isn't bad at all. One thing I prefer about the Endorphin Shift outsole is that it doesn't grab as much you know, dust and little rocks compared to the Invincible, which in turn tends to very easily grab and imprison many little things on the road, and especially if you go on some trails or you know, packed gravel roads, you end up with many little gravels, lots of little things in the little lugs, and so that reduces the traction and adds to the weight of the shoe, which is already quite high. So I would tend to say that I prefer the Invincible outsole, but then to be really competitive, it should be redesigned in the second iteration next year to reduce that tendency to grab and imprison pretty much everything you run in. Midsoles, two very different midsoles, but very similar stack heights. Around that 42-43 millimeters of stack height on the Invincible, a little less, 39 I think on the Endorphin Shift. ZoomX midsole, very responsive, very bouncy, very fun to run in, lots of cushion, lots of rebound. Here you have that Power Run midsole on the Endorphin Shift. It's firmer, but it's still quite cushioned. And although it's quite harder when you try to stick your finger in it, it's actually quite nice to run in, and for easy days, recovery days, easy paces, like I'm talking 5 minutes per kilometer, 6 minutes per kilometer, 8-9 minutes a mile. The shape of the midsoles are quite different. You have a bit more of a rocker shape on the Endorphin Shift, and you have a nice toe-off feel with the Endorphin Shift. I tend to feel that I run a bit less on the midfoot and a bit further back with the Invincible, but I think that's just an impression, because when I look at some footage, it looks like I'm landing on the you know, midfoot, and the toe-off phase is also here around midfoot, forefoot zone. For the midsole, I would tend to say that I prefer the Invincible, but I also very much enjoy the Endorphin Shift. Very different purposes and very different sort of needs on the given day of a specific run. If I want something a bit firmer, a bit less bouncy, I will go for this one. If I want something more bouncy, more maybe, you know, reactive, I will go for the Invincible. But they're very different feelings. The heel. On the heel, you have a very solid and quite high plastic, hard plastic color on the shift. You can hear when I'm knocking on it, it's really hard. On the Invincible, you don't have the same type of color, but you have that small soft rubber collar around the ankle. I don't feel any of them, but I think for people looking for more stability, the heel and the overall stability of the shoe of the Endorphin Shift may work better. Now the upper of these two shoes, the Invincible is very soft, very comfortable, and you can get very nice fits in the shoe, at least that's my impression. The Endorphin Shift is also quite thick, quite cushioned everywhere. It doesn't have that same type of gusseted tongue in it, at least it's not a full one, it's just gusseted at the beginning of the tongue. And I would say that the fit is maybe less perfect on the Endorphin Shift. Both have very good fits, very comfortable fits, but if I had to choose one, it would be the Invincible. The Endorphin Shift has a fit that is less accommodating in the forefoot. That's my impression. Laces, no big difference on the laces. The length and the feel when you're lacing your shoes is good on both of them. The ride. Well, I think I pretty much mentioned it when discussing the midsole, but very bouncy, very responsive, cushioned ride, very stable, firm, secure ride on the Endorphin Shift. More traditional, more fun, if you will. But yeah, price points. That's where probably you can pick your favorite depending on whether you want to spend a bit more or not. 110 euros, I think I paid 109 for this one, 180 euros, so the Shift is the clear winner in this price category. Okay, so let's wrap up here and let's give both these shoes points when they deserve them. Outsole, Invincible. Midsole, really depends on the ride you want to have, but it's a 2021 shoe, and for the innovation, or at least the guts it took to Nike to release such a shoe, I would go for the Invincible. Upper, I would still stick with the Invincible. Stability, probably the Shift. Price point, definitely the Shift. Weight, it's a draw. Overall ride, very hard to attribute any points at all for the ride. They're very different. Again, bouncy, fun, cushioned, more stable, firm, traditional, but still very efficient. So it really depends what you're looking for. Me personally, I'm keeping both shoes in my shoe rotation. Both are for easy days for me, but it really depends what I'm looking for on a given day. And so I think for the ride, it's a draw because you cannot really compare such different rides. Overall, I think that I prefer the Invincible, but I would say that you can take the Endorphin Shift to higher paces and longer distances. Although I read comments somewhere that some people actually prefer the Invincible at higher paces and do not quite enjoy it as much as I do at slower paces. It's very subjective, but that's just, my impressions. Who would I recommend each shoe to? People looking for more stability, a more traditional ride, but still a very versatile and efficient shoe, I would go for the Shift. People looking for something a bit more fun, maybe a little less stable, but still very stable, I would suggest the Invincible, just because the ride is so different and it's an experience that I haven't had before with any shoe. whereas the Shift is a very good daily trainer, but it's something more traditional, and I was more familiar with this type of shoes than with the Invincible. So it also depends on what you're looking for. Okay, if you've enjoyed this video, please let me know down in the comments. If you've tried both shoes, let me know which one you prefer and how you will use them in 2021. Please consider subscribing or leaving a like on this video if you enjoyed it. I wish you a very good run today, or a very good ride if you're headed on the bike. And in the meantime, take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.